Hi friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to the first build series of the channel. My name is Kat. If you're new here, welcome. This is Ophelia. You can only see the tips of her ears. Welcome. There she is. She says hi. So if you're new here, on my channel, we get comfy, we put our comfy clothes on, and we play Sims. We are building up Newcrest, and we're trying to make it a fun, busy place for my Sim to live or visit, because it's a bit of a wasteland right now, and it just needs some revamping, if you will. This is the second build in the series, so if you want to get caught up, I will link the first one above here so you can check it out. It will also be in the Newcrest series playlist, but let's get into it. So we are at Oak Alcove, which is actually the lot that's right next to our first build. This lot is a lot smaller. It's a 20 by 15, which I think is one of the smallest, if not the smallest, lot in Newcrest. And there's actually a lot that's the exact same size right next to it, I'm pretty sure. As usual, I will put a photo up on the screen of what I use for inspiration, but this is a very exciting build because I chose to do a base only build. So if you only have the base game, this house is perfect for you. This is the charming Craftsman. It is a Craftsman style home, which I've never done before, but it ended up being so much fun. I actually really enjoyed doing something super different. I thought this was gonna be an easier build, but yet again, roof 1 and cat 0. Just kidding. I think I ended up winning in the end. I think it turned out pretty well, but I definitely struggled with it for a while, as you can see here a little bit. I think there could have been quite a few improvements, if I'm being honest. I think one of the bigger ones was the fact that I was not able to use the second floor there that I'm making. I couldn't really see the second floor very well because of how the roof cut into it, and ironically, after I finished this build, I actually saw on like Facebook or Instagram or somewhere where another creator was showing how to fix that and make kind of like the roof around the room. And I didn't know, I just never thought about that. So I had already made the build, of course, after I watched that. So we will have to try that technique next time if I have a build where the roof cuts into a room. But I still think it turned out pretty okay. I did originally plan to like have stairs and have the second floor to be usable, but I ended up taking the stairs away because it just didn't seem that functional. So we'll definitely have to try that for next time. Actually, an issue that I ended up having that I didn't think I would was actually the columns. I was having an issue with the tops of the columns like sticking out on the side of the roof, so like you could see half of the column exposed at the top, and I ended up having to like extend the roof further out than I wanted to just so that it would cover the columns. I think it still turned out okay, like it wasn't bad, but I spent quite a bit of time trying to figure out how to get the columns to work. But obviously I am learning, it's only my second build, so I am excited to try all the new techniques. I actually think it turned out really cute for being only base game. They've added so many updates to the game, especially this past big update that they did, so I think that really helped make it look not so basic, I guess, if you will. So if you only have the base game, this house is perfect. Hopefully you download it, hopefully you like it. I think it turned out really, really cute, and I'm gonna get into this habit where I'm gonna want to play in every build that I make. But I probably can't do that other than just like play testing. So you guys have to, I'm gonna live vicariously through you, and you have to let me know if you download any of them. I just think that would be so cool. I did struggle with the windows. You can see here I'm trying a bunch of different ones, but the top of the roof was like clipping and you couldn't see through the window, and it was really bothering me. So I couldn't find a window that would work that was kind of like the reference photo. So I ended up just putting the two windows kind of side by side a little bit closer and not having that middle window there. Again, I still think it turned out okay. It's just not exactly what I was looking for, but you have to make compromises sometimes. So while I finish the outside of the house, since I'm pretty much done with the shell, how are you guys? Tell me about yourself. Where in the world do you live? How long have you been playing Sims? What's your favorite pack? I'm just excited to get to know you guys and make some new friends who also enjoy Sims. I can't believe we're already in March. This year has been flying already, and I know that it's going to go by so fast. What better time to start a YouTube channel? Well, restart a YouTube channel. If you missed my intro video, you can check it out. I kind of go into why I left YouTube and coming back and all of that, but I just think it's so ironic that I chose probably the most busiest time of my life to restart my YouTube channel. But honestly, I think it's the perfect time. I really needed a creative outlet. I have so much going on that I just need somewhere and some time to myself to work on something that's just fun. So it's going to be a very busy year, but I think it's honestly perfect timing, and I am so pumped to be getting back into Sims and to connect with people who also enjoy the game. And yeah, it's going to be a great year, and I am super pumped. So this year is going to be really busy for me because I'm actually getting married this September. My fiance and I have been together for 10 years. It'll be 11 this fall. So we've been together for a long time, and we are finally getting married, and I am so excited. So it has been a lot of planning and just very busy between work and some other things going on and wedding planning. So this year is going to be very busy, but it's all good things. So I'm very excited, and hopefully I'll be able to share some of that with you guys if you're interested. Enough about me, let's get back to the build. So I am finishing up the landscaping. I really like how it turned out. I love that it's like kind of symmetrical. It's got like the same type of landscaping on both sides of the porch. The hydrangeas are really pretty, and I love the pink. It like gives it kind of like a pop of color. I was a little bit worried about this lot size. I don't think I've ever built on such a small lot before. Originally, I was thinking I would have to do like a tiny home, which I don't think I've ever built a tiny house before. I may try that on the lot next to this one, but I think this lot actually turned out pretty well. Like the size of the house fit pretty well. I was able to have a decent sized backyard. It's not super big or anything like that, but it's enough space for your sim to be able to hang out in the backyard and still do a couple of activities, considering how small the lot actually is. I am obsessed with how the outside turned out. I think it's just so cute and just looks like such a quaint, cozy little house. I think I've gotten into a habit of putting these little old trucks in the driveways for some reason. This truck is very like Bella Swan, Twilight vibes, but I think it just, something about them just has like this old small town vibe, which is kind of what I'm going for, I guess, just suburbia. Even though the cars aren't functional, I just like putting them in the driveway for a little bit of realism. I think it adds a lot to the outside of the home. We are finally moving on to the inside of the house. It is quite a small floor plan, but I think I made good use of the space. I added these wood beams, and these come from the birthday update. I ended up using a lot of wood and just like browns, but when I was putting all these beams and like hardwood floors, I don't know why, but it just prompted me to make this into like an elder's home. And I think it's funny because aren't we getting like an elders pack in the upcoming weeks? I'm pretty sure. So I may come back to this at some point if I get that pack and add some of that. But I'm excited to see what that pack is about. I wonder if we'll get like walkers and stuff. That would be so cool. I don't know, it just, all the browns and wood just reminded me of my dad's house. So honestly, it's kind of a reference from that, just like that older like 60s, 70s style a little bit. And I am not good at knowing what styles or what, if we're being honest, but I don't know, something about all the brown just reminded me of my dad's house in the house I grew up in. His house was built in the 60s, I'm pretty sure. So you can see that I have the wallpaper there and like the old brown wood and the beams to match. I don't know, it just felt really warm and just reminded me of growing up and even like my like grandparents' house. So that's kind of the inspiration for this. Now it was really small, so you can see that I'm moving around around the living room here because I didn't quite know how to like lay it out for it to be an optimal use of the space. So you guys can let me know if you think this was a good layout. I originally had the couch on the wall and then the armchair kind of in the corner in front of the fireplace, but I feel like it was blocking the bathroom door too much, which is why I changed it to this. So I think that this is better, but you guys have to let me know if you think that was a good choice or not. And then I did change the couch to be green. I was trying again to use base game only, so like I think a lot of the cottage living stuff would have looked right in this build since I was going for that kind of like that older style, but obviously wanted to keep it base game, so I had to stick to what we have. But I am obsessed with the living room. I think it turned out so cute. I can just picture like grandma and grandpa sitting on the couch together, reading a book, watching old TV shows, like old westerns or something. I'm really obsessed with all of the new base game update items, as I'm sure everybody is. Like this fireplace is so beautiful, and I am freaking obsessed with the fact that they put the brick that gets to go around it that matches. I really love how it adds just a little bit to the fireplace and it makes it look a little bit more seamless, since that's how fireplaces are in real life. It doesn't just like end at the ground. Well, I guess some do, but I don't know. And that's something else that my dad's house had, was like the brick extending from the fireplace, and actually it was on like a brick ledge. And I remember my parents fussing at like me and my brother to not jump on and off of the little brick ledge because they were afraid that we would like hit our heads on the brick. So I definitely think that adds to just my inspiration here too. And I did this thing here which I thought was kind of cute. There were these like little knickknacks in the like decorations, so it's like that rooster, I guess, and this duck, and at first I had them like full size, and then I was like, what if I size them down and make them bookends? So that's what I did there. I don't know, again, like I think just older people usually have a lot of knickknacks around, so I don't know, that was kind of the inspiration for that, but I think it turned out really cute and just kind of unique. Then I worked on the entryway. Didn't add too much here, just some decorations and a little rug, and I love putting the light switches in all my rooms. I always try to remember to do that for every build. I just think it adds so much to like the background and just the decorations. I love it, and I put more than one together to kind of do like the, you know, the switches that have like 3 or so that kind of like operate different lights for different parts of the room type of thing. So I like doing that as well. And I chose the swatch that was like darker and dirtier, not dirty, but just like not the white one, because like the yellowing on the like light switches and things like that also remind me of like the older homes. There is a lot of browns and like creams in the house. So now we're doing the kitchen, which ended up being kind of like a galley kitchen, which is also something that I think is in a lot of older homes. Again, my dad's house had kind of like that galley kitchen as well, and I did end up changing the backsplash there. I really liked the base game, the new base game update one, but I didn't think it looked retro enough, so I did end up changing it to like this checker one, which I think fit the aesthetic I was going for a little bit better. But of course I had to use the new counters. I love these so much. I think everybody does. They're so good. But I did do it in the brown swatch to match all the other brown in the home, and just added a couple of the same cabinets on the other side. There wasn't quite enough room to do like an island, and I don't know if islands were common back in the day. I feel like they weren't. So I think it actually ended up turning out really well that way. And I did use the like creamier swatches for the appliances. I don't know, it just really reminds me of like older houses, just like the more yellow, creamier colors rather than like stark white, which we're so used to now. I think using only base game was really interesting for me. I usually go all out on all of my builds, but I liked the extra challenge, and I just like the idea of trying to do a couple of base game builds so that if anybody doesn't have an expansion pack, they just have the base game, that they can still, you know, have a good few options for some base game builds that they can play in. So I really like how it turned out. I would definitely use this just base game. Obviously there could have been other things I could have added with the other packs, but it was definitely an added challenge, and I kind of liked that. It's different. I'm excited to hear what you guys think about this one. I feel like I've said this a million times, but it's just so different than anything I have ever thought about or tried. So I had a lot of fun building it. It was kind of fun, like going for a certain aesthetic or just like a timepiece almost, which makes me feel really old. But while I am finishing up the kitchen, I just have to talk about businesses and hobbies again. This will probably be out after it's already out because I kind of plan on maybe shifting gears once it comes out and either trying to build with the new pack or maybe doing a gameplay series. I hate to break up the build series, but I am so eager to play the new pack that I might just have to. It might just be a necessity. So hopefully you guys don't mind that. We will definitely come back to Building Up Newcrest, especially with the new businesses and hobbies pack, because I definitely want to make some public lots that have residential and public lots on the same lot. And I think that a lot of the build items will come in handy in some of these lots that I want to make. So maybe doing some hopping around as far as series, but hopefully you guys will enjoy the gameplay. I'm excited and a little nervous. I haven't done a let's play in 15 years, you guys. I will hope that I will be better at it 15 years later, but we shall see. I am so excited. I am trying to think of what I want to do first with the new pack. I feel like there's so many options. I may just check out what the pack comes with first, and I'm thinking of doing a rags to riches because I've only played a rags to riches challenge one time, but I think it would be fun to try it and like successfully do the whole challenge with the new pack, since it's super based around like having a side hustle, which I think is perfect for trying to like go from nothing to, you know, having money. A part may already be out by the time you're watching this build, so we shall see, but I will definitely be getting this pack. I can't even wait. It might have bugs, but that just might be a risk I'm willing to take because I am super pumped about this pack. If you guys end up getting it, definitely let me know. I am excited to see all the different things that people are going to come up with. It feels just so like the possibilities are endless. So I'm excited to see what everyone comes up with. Everyone's so creative, and it's going to be so much fun. But then we're moving on to the bathroom. Again, trying to keep with the older theme here. I think this shower tub combo really fits that vibe. And obviously I stuck with like the creamy yellowy color swatches to match the rest of the appliances. This bathroom was also heavily inspired by my childhood home. I ended up changing the tile, and it's so funny because the tile that I ended up choosing like was exactly the tile that I had growing up, except the tile I had growing up I'm pretty sure was black and white. It wasn't like the creamy color that I chose here, but it was definitely the same design, or like a very, very similar design. And I thought adding the bulky medicine cabinet above the sink, that also is something that we had. And it did have the matching wallpaper, so I really liked that as well. Something else that reminds me of like the older houses are these box lights that I'm putting up. I used them in quite a few of the rooms, I think. They just really remind me of the older homes, just like the box light. It's like not that cute, but I did size it down because it just seemed really big. And then I also added that little night light because I feel like we had those night lights growing up like in every room, or at least like for the kids, and like in the bathroom so that we could see at night if we had to get up and like go to the bathroom. But I'm just adding some more windows here. I realized I didn't finish putting the windows all around the house, and just putting up the same curtains. And this is the master bedroom. Technically this house has 2 bedrooms. You could make the second bedroom into like a computer room or like a little library, but I did have 2 bedrooms here. You'll see that the second bedroom I made as a grandkids room. I didn't feel that they needed like a library or a computer room, so I actually ended up making it into like a room for when the grandkids come to visit, which I thought was so cute. Just some toys and a little playpen in there for when the grandkids come and spend the night and hang out with the grandparents. But I love how the main bedroom turned out as well. I think it fits the vibe perfectly. It's very cozy. I didn't put a big main light. I just have the 2 lamps in there, which I think makes it a little bit more warm and welcoming and just really cozy. Added a couple of things to the dresser there. That dresser that I chose has a little bit of wear on it, which I also liked because I feel like, you know, over the years you hang on to your furniture, maybe you don't update it, and obviously it's going to have some wear to it. So I just thought that added quite a bit of character to the room. And I did play test this house, so it is fully functional as far as I could tell. My sim was able to get on both sides of the bed just fine. It seemed like enough room for her to get around and do what she needed. I mean, there's not too much in the bedroom, but it's a good size for, you know, just what it's meant for sleeping. So I just added some homey touches like the laundry basket and the folded shirts on the dresser, maybe just waiting to be put away, a plant, a rug. I just love all the homey touches. I think it really just brings the whole house together. It's very lived in. They've had all this stuff for a long time. It's all stuff that they've collected over the years. Obviously, they've kept it for so long. It is a bit dated, but it all means a lot to them, and they've just filled their home with all their memories from their life. I just think that's so special. Obviously, it's all pretend, just imaginary, but that's kind of what I was picturing when I was building this house, just an old couple who have lived a very good life together. And then this is the grandkids room that I mentioned. It doesn't have like a full-size bed. I thought just like for kind of the storyline that I was going for, it didn't need a full-size bed. It kind of just has like the playpen for them to nap in. I pictured it as like a smaller child, not like a full kid, like maybe like an infant or like a small toddler. And I chose this dollhouse, which I ended up sizing down just because it was so big, but I chose the one with the red roof because it just reminds me of like the little Fisher-Price dollhouses that you had back in the day. So I really love how it turned out. I think it just reminds me, this house just reminds me so much of like my grandma's house and my dad's house growing up. So you guys will have to let me know what you think. I love it. I think it's so different, and I think it's pretty spot on, but again, I'm not super great at like knowing like, oh, this is like 60s or that's the 70s styles. So you guys will have to let me know what you think. But I just added quite a few toys here. I just know, at least for me growing up, like my parents always dropped me off at my grandparents' house when they would go to work, and I was like too young to go to like school. So my grandparents would have like toys, or I would bring my toys and just like play at their house. I will say the story that always gets told is that my parents would drop me off at my grandparents' house and I would just cry and scream the whole time until my parents came and picked me up. So maybe the toy thing isn't true, at least not until I got older. I do remember bringing it to my grandma's house like for holidays when we would go visit. I would bring like a tub of toys to play with while all the adults like talked or whatever. But I do know the story is when I was very young, I was not happy about being dropped off at grandma's house. But that's pretty much it for the inside. Now I'm just adding a couple touches to the porch here. I just added some chairs for them to sit out on their porch and some plants and a little mat. I love a good front porch to sit on. The lighting in Newcrest, and this build specifically so far anyway, actually ended up really nice. You'll see that in the screenshots there at the end of the video, but I loved how the sun was just hitting the front of the porch and I could just picture the couple sitting out there in the morning having a cup of coffee. I think it's a perfect spot to relax and maybe read a book or have a snack, stop and chat with your neighbors. I love how small town it feels, like with the big front porch and you're just like stopping your neighbor on the street to chat. And lastly, we are doing the backyard. I did add the stairs so that way they could come out the back door down to the backyard. I thought I would add some gardening patches so that they could do some gardening since they have so much free time. And just a little table for them to maybe have lunch outside or a cup of coffee, and a grill so they could grill out if they wanted. So not too much in the backyard, but just enough space for them to still be able to hang out and enjoy some time outside. maybe even have some family members over and just enjoy a good time at Grandma and Grandpa's. I feel like this build is so different than the first one that I did, but I kind of love that. Honestly, my Newcrest builds are probably all going to be very different, so it might not be a very cohesive town, but it's actually kind of what I want to go for. I want to explore different types of builds, different types of roofing, elevations, all that good stuff. So it's kind of just going to be a mismatch of different types of builds, to be honest. It's just going to be whatever I want. I want to be able to try different things and just get better and come back to it in a few years, and maybe we'll revamp it again. Who knows? You can see that there's this like gap in the ceiling, and I didn't know what the issue was. I'm leaving some of my mistakes in on purpose, so you guys know. I could easily cut them out, but I think it adds something, hopefully some quality to my content, to show you the mistakes that I'm making and things that I'm learning. So there was that gap in the ceiling there and like the roofing, and it was really bothering me, and I think I figured out. You guys can let me know if I was wrong here. It ended up fixing it, so I assume I'm right, but I didn't have ceilings or something. Like I had to delete the roof and go in and add ceilings to each room, which fixed it. I don't know if that was actually the issue, but it did end up fixing it, so that's cool with me. But that is pretty much the build, you guys. My second build is done. I love it. It's so cute and charming, just like the name. That's why I named it the Charming Craftsman. I really love how it turned out. I can just picture this old couple enjoying their retirement and sitting on the front porch and enjoying a cup of coffee and having their grandkids over in their super small, quaint little home. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think. This will be available in the gallery if you would like to download it. My gallery ID is just the same as my YouTube name. It's CozyKatPlays, and that is cat with a K. If you guys download the build, definitely let me know. I'll be so excited if you guys play in it, and maybe when we get this elders pack in a few weeks, you can add to it yourself and have your elders live there, have the grandkids over. I think that would be just so cute. I love it so much. I think it turned out perfect for what I wanted it to look like, so very happy with it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the screenshots, and if you feel inclined, you could subscribe to the channel if you want to see more builds or the upcoming businesses and hobbies gameplay. I'm hopefully going to do do they still call them Let's Plays? I don't know, a playthrough, a challenge. So stay tuned for more content. Give the video a thumbs up if you like the build, subscribe if you would like to see more, and comment down below and let me know what you think. I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. It will also be in my hello. Hello. This is Ophi. She says hi. She's coming to assist. Look up here. Ooh. You're so cute. Huh? She is my assistant. Are you the assistant? Are you helping? She's gonna say a few words. Or not. Okay.